Have you ever found yourself kind of searching, looking for, I don't know, a deeper blueprint to existence? That
Hmm.
sense of purpose that just feels inherently right, something that really resonates beyond, the everyday rules and what society expects?
Yeah, absolutely. That feeling that there's maybe some grander design.
Exactly, a grander design to the universe. And you've wondered, okay, how does my little journey fit into that huge, magnificent tapestry?
It's a universal question, isn't it?
It really is. Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a concept that might just illuminate some of those very questions. And with surprising clarity, actually, we're talking about Dharma.
Dharma, a big word, often misunderstood.
Totally. And our source material for this deep dive is Oscar Muñoz's compelling series, Path of Beauty. Specifically, we're digging into his insightful work, Dharma, the universe's way and the soul's unfolding.
It's a fantastic resource.
It really is. And this is, I think, a unique chance to uncover some ancient wisdom, but not just as history, right?
Right. It's re-examined, presented through a really contemporary lens.
Yeah, to help you understand what it actually means for you, right here, right now.
And our mission today is exactly that. We want to move way beyond the common, sometimes narrow understandings of Dharma.
Like just duty or religious law.
Precisely. Those often reduce it. We really aim to cut through what the book calls centuries of dust. Those cultural interpretations piled on top.
The layers obscuring the original idea.
Yeah. We want to reveal its foundational role in the cosmos and, maybe most importantly, its intimate, sometimes surprising, connection to the essence of your soul.
So grasping what Munoz calls the deepest way of being of things.
Exactly. As it relates directly to your experience. That's the goal.
Okay, so get ready for hopefully some real insights, those aha moments where these big abstract ideas suddenly click.
Connecting the universal to the personal.
Yeah, linking them directly to tangible understanding about your life, your choices, your unique place in the whole scheme of things. It could really redefine what alignment means.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating journey.
Okay, let's unpack this then. When Path of Beauty talks about Dharma, what's the fundamental definition? Because like you said, it sounds much bigger than just a moral code.
Oh, definitely. Much, much bigger.
So what does Munoz say is the bedrock, the core?
You're right. It's crucial to see it's way more expansive than just a moral checklist.
Yeah.
At its heart, the book defines Dharma as the way things are in the universe.
The way things are.
Yes. Universal law, or Rada, but in relation to a particular soul formation. So notice it's not just about human behavior.
Or even ethics in the usual sense.
Not primarily. It's about the inherent order, the intrinsic truth, the fundamental nature of everything, like a cosmic blueprint maybe.
A cosmic blueprint. I like that. So what does it mean by the deepest way of being of things within our experience? How is that different from just how things look on the surface?
Good question. It's asking us to look deeper. Think about, say, a river, a powerful river carving its path. Its Dharma isn't just flowing. It's the way it flows.
Yeah.
Always seeking the path of least resistance, always pulled downwards towards the sea, relentlessly.
Right. That's its nature.
Exactly. Its current, its cycles of ebb and flow, the very shape it takes, that's its deepest way of being, that inherent pattern, the truth operating at its core, not just a ripple on the surface or a patch of ice in winter, that's its Dharma.
So the intrinsic nature itself, the universe expressing itself through that specific form.
You got it. The essential quality, the underlying pattern.
So it's like the very essence, the blueprint of something. Not just its actions, but what it is deep down, authentically. Which immediately makes it sound incredibly universal, way beyond just humans.
Precisely. And that universality is a key point the book really hammers home.
Yeah.
Dharma is not exclusively human. It says it manifests as infinite reflections of Rada.
Rada, again, we'll need to get into that.
We will. But these reflections, each one expresses something unique across all forms of life. The whole universe, actually.
Can you give an example, like in nature versus human life?
Sure. Think of a seed. Its Dharma, its inherent truth, is to sprout, right? To grow into a specific kind of plant, maybe blossom, bear fruit, release new seeds.
That's just what it does. It's nature.
It's nature, its way of being. Or the sun, its Dharma is to shine, give warmth, light, sustain life, govern the seasons. It doesn't choose these things in a human sense.
It is those things.
It is those things. Now, for a human, it's obviously not just following a physical law like gravity. It's more complex.
Right.
It's about the specific way our individual soul formation expresses that same universal order, our unique trajectory, our essence unfolding in time and space, revealing the innate pattern of our being.
So it's shifting from a rule we follow to a truth about existence itself.
That's fundamental to Muñoz's perspective, yes. It's descriptive, not just prescriptive.
That's a really helpful way to put it. It moves Dharma from something we do to something we are, or maybe something that is unfolding through us.
Beautifully said.
And the book mentions, Dharma's an ancient word, but its relevance hasn't faded. It argues it's actually more critical now.
Yes, absolutely. Muñoz emphasizes that. Despite being ancient, despite its meaning often getting obscured by centuries of, well, dust and cultural layers.
It's like reducing it to just duty or righteousness.
Exactly, sometimes even used dogmatically.
Yeah.
But he insists it remains not less relevant for humans today than it was yesterday.
So the challenge is clearing away that dust.
That's how the book presents it, rediscovering its foundational, timeless significance, recognizing that the underlying principles of the universe and our place in it, they're eternal, even if our interpretations change.
So it's not something we invent?
No, it's something we discern. We align with it. It's a continuous process of becoming more fully what we, in essence, already are.
Okay, and what's really fascinating here is how Path of Beauty traces Dharma's origins. It connects it to something even older, right?
Yes, like finding the taproot of this ancient tree.
Revealing an even deeper source from which Dharma itself came. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Conceptually deep. Path of Beauty explicitly talks about a lineage, right? Between Dharma and Ruddha.
Yes, a conceptual lineage.
And the book even corrects a previous understanding. That suggests a kind of deepening insight in this work. Can you walk us through that? Because understanding this ancestry, this cosmic family tree, seems absolutely crucial.
It really is. This clarification about Ruddha being the ancestor of Dharma is pivotal in the book. It shows, I think, a real intellectual honesty, a deepening of understanding over time.
So what does it actually say?
It states, and I'm quoting loosely here, Ruddha is the ancestor of Dharma in the unfolding of the vision of those rishis, the ancient Vedic seers of the Rig Veda.
Okay, the rishis of the Rig Veda.
And importantly, the book specifically notes this corrects a previous understanding from another source or excerpt. It implies this insight is refined, maybe even evolved.
So Ruddha came first. That's the key takeaway. But what is Ruddha then, if it's the original, the ancestor concept?
Right. Muñoz defines Ruddha as the eternal law, the way of being of reality. It's the primordial cosmic order.
Primordial. Wow.
Yeah, the fundamental rhythm and truth of the universe. It appears in the Rig Veda before Dharma was fully conceptualized.
So even older than Dharma.
Much older in terms of its appearance in the texts.
Yeah.
Think of Ruddha as the unmanifested principle of cosmic harmony, balance, truth, governing everything.
Like the cycles of nature,
Yeah.
the stars moving.
Exactly. The precise cycles, the unerring movements of planets and stars, the very structure of existence itself. It's the primordial, unchanging law. The fundamental algorithm, you could say, that all order springs from.
That which is at its most basic level.
In its most fundamental, universal sense, yes.
Okay. So if Ruddha is this grand, eternal cosmic law, the ultimate blueprint for all reality, how does Dharma fit in? Is it like a smaller version or an echo?
An echo is a nice image. Or maybe an emanation, a particularization. That's a good way to think about it.
Okay.
Dharma is presented as the macrocosmic projection of the Ruddha on the microcosm of the human order upon this splendid earth.
Wow. Okay. Macrocosmic projection onto the microcosm.
Yeah, let's break that down. Think of Ruddha as the grand, overarching cosmic operating system, the fundamental code governing the whole universe, ensuring balance everywhere.
Got it. The OS.
Right. Dharma, then, is its specific particular expression, how that OS runs on a specific device, maybe.
Yeah.
It's unfolding in different contexts, especially within the human realm and for individual soul formations.
So Ruddha made manifest, localized.
Yeah.
Specific to a place or being.
Exactly. To use another analogy, if Ruddha is the universal law of physics, say gravity working everywhere,
Yeah.
Dharma would be how gravity specifically works here on Earth, influencing tides, shaping mountains, making apples fall. It's the application of the big principle to a specific place.
Okay, that makes sense. The universal law applied locally.
Applied locally, manifesting uniquely. So for humans, it means our specific way of aligning with and embodying that universal truth. Ruddha is the source, the pure cosmic order. Dharma is how that truth expresses itself uniquely through your life, my life, all lives.
So Dharma is fundamental to us, but it's not the ultimate origin. It comes from something even bigger, Ruddha.
Something more primordial, eternal, unchanging. Yes, that clarification is key.
Okay, so Ruddha, eternal law, Dharma. It's specific unfolding in our lives, rooted in reality itself. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But then the big question, the burning question is, what does that mean for my life, for your life, right now? How does this deep cosmic stuff actually play out day to day? So yeah, what does this all mean for us? If Dharma is this huge universal law linked to Raita, how does Path of Beauty say it actually shows up in an individual's life?
Right.
And what about this really intriguing, almost contradictory idea about it being personal, but also transpersonal?
Okay, this is where the concept really lands, where it becomes deeply relevant to your own unique experience right here, right now.
Yeah.
The book makes this truly profound statement. My life, your life, is being the unfolding of a Dharma.
My whole life is the unfolding.
Your entire existence, every moment, every breath, every choice, every single experience. It represents the course taken by things as far as I'm concerned.
So not just the big decisions.
No, it's the intrinsic movement of your being, the natural progression of your unique soul signature, you could say.
Wow. Okay.
And what's really powerful here, and this totally reframed how we usually think, is the analysis that comes with it.
Go on.
The source material emphasizes that this unfolding includes both successful understandings and failed attempts, and it calls both pure and genuine expressions of Dharma.
Failed attempts too, seriously.
Seriously, think about that. It basically liberates us from this constant burden of needing perfection, from self-judgment.
So if I felt like I messed up, took a wrong turn in my career or a relationship, that wasn't off my path.
From this perspective, no. Those aren't deviations. They're integral, authentic parts of its unfolding. Every twist, every struggle, every perceived mistake, it's all part of the unique process of your soul expressing itself.
That is a massive reframe.
Isn't it? It's not about hitting some predefined target someone else set. It's the very act of living and experiencing that continuously reveals your deepest truth.
It takes the pressure right off. You're just living your Dharma, regardless.
In its beautiful, messy, unfolding entirety, yes, that is the Dharma manifesting.
Okay. Wow.
And then to add another layer, another level of nuance, Path of Beauty makes this crucial distinction between expressions of the Dharma of an era.
Dharma of an era, like specific times or cultures.
Exactly. Things like specific religious codes, cultural norms, social expectations that change dramatically over time. They're contextual, historically bound.
Like maybe strict caste duties in ancient India or certain gender roles in the past.
Perfect examples. Those are expressions of Dharma of their specific eras. Valid in context, maybe, but not the ultimate timeless truth.
Okay, so that's era-specific Dharma. What's the contrast?
In contrast, the book states that the human soul expresses a perennial Dharma.
Perennial Dharma. Timeless. Universal.
Just exactly that. A universal, timeless aspect that transcends all those cultural, religious, temporal variations. Your soul's path isn't confined by specific historical norms or doctrines.
It taps into something deeper.
Much deeper. Something eternally true for all human souls, regardless of when or where they live or what they believe. It connects you to a universal essence, not just a local code.
So my unique path is actually plugged into this perennial, timeless Dharma. That's quite liberating.
It is.
But then the book throws in this other twist. It says this individual Dharma, it's nothing personal.
Here we go.
That sounds like a direct contradiction. How can my life be my unfolding Dharma, so uniquely mine, but simultaneously not personal? This is where it gets tricky, maybe challenging for the ego.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
This is truly a key aha moment in the book, maybe one of its most transformative insights.
Okay.
The book explains this crucial distinction. What you call your own Dharma is nothing personal.
Yeah.
Your soul is transpersonal.
My soul is transpersonal. Okay. What does that mean?
It fundamentally challenges our usual egocentric view, right? Our sense of I and mine. It means while your life's unfolding is uniquely yours, the deepest currents guiding it, the actions that truly align with your Dharma, they don't originate from or belong to your individual ego.
The ego being that part that identifies as I with all my preferences, desires, fears.
Exactly, that part. Instead, dharmic action is part of the transpersonality of your soul.
So it comes from somewhere bigger than my personality.
Precisely. Our ego, with its likes and dislikes, its ambitions, its fears, its strong sense of me and mine, it tries to claim our path.
Yeah, my purpose, my duty, my success.
Right, often defined in terms of personal ambition, getting recognition, status, wealth. But the book gives this really powerful warning.
What's the warning?
It says, a dharmic action, the ego only sustains a non-existent spiritual mask, a ghost.
Wow, a spiritual mask.
Yeah.
Like a ghost. That's potent imagery.
Isn't it? It suggests that when we act just from that egoic place, when our motivation is purely self-serving or just about propping up some image, we're not actually touching real spiritual reality.
We're just reinforcing an illusion, a hollow self.
Hollow caricature. A ghost of our true being. That's the idea.
Okay, so what's the alternative? What does transpersonal dharmic action look like?
Well, it might be more like an inner pull, a guidance, maybe towards contributing to community or creating art or just offering compassion, even when there's no obvious personal gain or recognition involved.
Acting from a flow that's bigger than just me.
Tapping into a flow larger than your individual ambition. And the relevance for you, for the listener, is huge. It challenges that ego-driven need for ownership, for control over my path.
It encourages surrender.
A kind of surrender to a deeper current. True Dharma, it suggests, doesn't come from your personal will or limited desires alone. It flows from that deeper transpersonal dimension of your soul.
The part connected to everything else. Dharita.
Exactly, that connection. And the book stresses the greater benefit in following your Dharma, precisely because it's non-personal, transpersonal. It's asking you, what does it really mean to align with something bigger than your ego?
To let actions flow from beyond just me.
To allow that universal current to express itself uniquely through you, for the benefit of all. It's about letting go of that illusion of individual control.
That concept, Dharma being transpersonal, it really does shift the ground under your feet.
It's a radical shift.
It means my true path isn't something I just make up with my will, but something that unfolds through me from somewhere deeper. Which leads us to another critical piece. How does this interact with duality? And right and wrong, good and bad, especially if it's beyond the ego. So that raises a really important question. If Dharma is this transpersonal unfolding coming from beyond the ego, how does it connect with our very human struggles? With right and wrong, making choices, dealing with conflict.
Yeah, the messy reality of life.
Exactly. The book acknowledges the ethical side, right? Especially historically. But then it seems to go way beyond that.
It does. It navigates that tension carefully.
So what does Path of Beauty say about Dharma and duality? How do we make sense of that?
Okay, this is a crucial distinction the book makes. It gives us the historical context, but then offers a profound spiritual leap. First, it acknowledges that, yes, in popular understanding, especially in Hinduism, and famously in the Bhagavad Gita.
Right, Arjuna on the battlefield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dharma definitely carries a strong ethical meaning there. It's about a way of acting in the world, a choice of what is right. Righteous conduct, moral duty, upholding cosmic and social order.
And the idea of the Supreme Being stepping in when Dharma decays.
Yes, restoring order. It emphasizes Dharma's role in balance. The Gita vividly shows the challenge of maintaining Dharma amidst conflict, attachments, the agony of choice, what the source calls the human battle of Kurukshetra.
So in that context, it's very much about ethics, duty, good versus evil, upholding righteousness.
Definitely. That's a valid and important understanding within that framework.
But Muñoz's Path of Beauty suggests something more, something beyond that battlefield of duality.
Precisely. It then offers this profound shift. It asserts that the I am is free from the mental configurations we call Dharma.
The I am, meaning the ultimate reality of self.
That fundamental universal awareness underlying all consciousness. It's saying that reality isn't bound by our intellectual ideas about Dharma, especially when those ideas are dualistic.
Defining right against wrong, good against bad.
Exactly. The source explicitly links Dharma, when understood only in that ethical, dualistic way, with dual thinking and the human battle of Kurukshetra.
So those concepts, while maybe useful for navigating the world,
are still part of the realm of mental constructs, judgment, and ultimately conflict. They're tools for the ego, perhaps, but not direct expressions of the non-dual self.
Okay, so where does true dharmic action come from then, according to Muñoz?
This is fascinating. The book details that the Ananda of the self contains the Dharma as part of a broader movement of Shakti that transcends these human battles.
Okay, unpack that. Ananda and Shakti.
Right. Ananda is often translated as absolute bliss, pure joy, the inherent nature of the self, that pure consciousness beyond concepts and duality.
Okay, bliss.
And Shakti is the divine, dynamic, creative power, the energy that manifests the universe.
Right.
So the crucial point is, for a dharmic action to be truly non-dual, to be an authentic expression of your deeper transpersonal self, it must occur from the Ananda.
It has to come from that place of bliss. joy.
It implies a totally different source than just ego making a choice or following a rule or even feeling obligated.
Mhm.
It's not deciding what's right based on external rules or personal gain.
It's acting from, what, an innate joy, an inherent truth.
A wellspring of joy, truth, creative power. A place of unity that exists before duality kicks in, a spontaneous flow of being.
That is a huge shift. Not following a rule, but expressing from a state of being, from a deeper, joyful self.
Exactly.
But what happens if we do try to fix Dharma? Turn it into rigid concepts, codes, and face it.
Well,
The book warns about that, doesn't it? It says it can become destructive.
yes, and it's a critical warning. Almost chilling, really, especially today. The book states clearly that when Dharma becomes just a doctrine or gets fixed in ethical concepts, it loses its vitality.
It stops being alive, dynamic.
It ceases to be that living, unfolding expression. And worse, it becomes susceptible to manipulation and lies.
Ah, that's where the danger lies.
Absolutely. When it's codified, rigidified, treated as an unchangeable law instead of a fluid truth, it can be weaponized. It can become the sword of the righteous ego.
Used for self-justification, judging others, oppression even.
Yes, imposing absurd limitations, leading to dogmatism, fundamentalism, conflict, all in the name of truth or righteousness.
That sounds sadly familiar.
It does. And contrast that, the book says, with the universe itself, which is described poetically as Shakti dancing in love with
A
Brahman.
dance of creation, unity.
A profound unity beyond those dualistic struggles of good and bad. The implication is critical. Fixing concepts, even sacred ones like Dharma, can actually lead to division and distortion, not unity.
It rigidifies something that should be fluid.
Exactly. Reality is fluid, interconnected, ultimately beyond the boxes our egos create.
And does this connect to society, like how we structure things?
It does extend there. The text notes that contemporary legal systems often based on instrumental rationality.
Instrumental rationality, meaning like pure efficiency, logic without the bigger picture.
Kind of, focusing purely on means-to-an-end logic, measurable outcomes, often divorced from broader ethical or holistic context.
Okay.
The book argues this can cause profound ruptures in social dharma because the spirit of the law, its original life-affirming intent, its link to deeper principles of justice and harmony, can get lost.
It becomes just mechanical rules.
Mechanical processes, yeah. Rules without inherent wisdom
Yeah.
and susceptible to the political will to power.
Where laws are shaped by those seeking control or gain, not by universal truth.
That's the risk highlighted. How far we can drift from true dharma when we prioritize rigid frameworks, efficiency, and egoic will over that dynamic, unifying flow and the deeper spirit of truth.
Wow. Okay. This brings us then to a really beautiful and counterintuitive idea, especially after talking about the dangers of fixed concepts and the ego's grip, that Dharma isn't something to be demanded, but offered. That feels like the culmination of all this, a total reorientation. This really does shift the perspective, doesn't it? Instead of demanding justice, demanding people follow rules, demanding life give us what we think we deserve. Path of Beauty says Dharma is an offering.
An offering, yes.
What does that actually mean for us? How do we live that? What does it look like day to day?
It feels like the culmination, absolutely. Weaving together the transpersonal and non-dual threads. The book states it directly. Dharma is not a demand, but an offering to the human from the Ananda.
An offering from the bliss of the self.
Yes. It radically reframes how we relate to purpose, action, even conflict. We're so used to thinking of duties as demands, right? Things imposed on us. Or justice as something we demand from others, often indignantly.
Yeah, I demand my rights.
Right. But here, Dharma is presented as an inherent gift, a spontaneous flow originating from that very bliss of the self, from Ananda.
Okay, why do we fall into demanding it then? What does the source say about that?
It links it intrinsically to the ego, to egoic desires for justice, for control, and maybe underlying that, a fear of ignorance, a fear of not knowing the right way.
So when we demand Dharma, we're often coming from a place of lack, anxiety, wanting things our way.
Often, yes. Operating from a belief that things should be a certain way for our benefit to meet our standards. It frames the demand as ego-driven, reactive, rather than harmonious and flowing from that deeper place.
Taking versus giving. Obligation versus emanation.
It's a subtle but crucial distinction, absolutely.
So it's about shifting from that ego-driven mindset of scarcity and control to one of abundance, generosity.
Inherent abundance, yes. Simply expressing the inner truth, rather than trying to control the outcome.
And the book gives actual advice on this, how to embody it.
It does. A beautiful piece of advice attributed to Sura, maybe a guide or voice within the text.
What does Sura say?
Sura advises, do not demand Dharma. Offer your Dharma to your ego, and your enemy will be your friend.
Offer your Dharma to your ego, and your enemy becomes your friend. Wow.
It's profoundly transformative, isn't it? It applies internally and externally. Instead of insisting others conform to your idea of right, or even demanding your own ego comply rigidly, you offer your deepest authentic truth, your inherent Dharma.
You offer it to the world and even to the parts of yourself that resist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It implies that conflict, both internal, like self-judgment, and external, like arguments, can be transmuted, turned into cooperation, understanding.
How? Not through fighting or winning.
No. Through an act of what the book calls loving will, an active generosity of spirit coming from your true self. By offering your Dharma, you release the ego's grip on outcomes, on judgments.
And that creates a shift, energetically.
A subtle but powerful change in vibration, yes. It can dissolve opposition, turning an enemy, whether a person, a situation, or an inner struggle, into a friend, an ally in the bigger picture.
Radiating your truth generously, not wielding it like a weapon or a rule book.
That's the essence of it.
That is incredibly powerful. And so, counterintuitive in a world focused on demands and rights, it suggests our inner state can actually change outer reality.
That's the implication.
So what's the ultimate goal, then, of living Dharma this way as an offering?
The ultimate aim, as Path of Beauty describes it, is that one's Dharma should become the transparency of the self.
The transparency of the self,
Meaning your actions, your choices, your whole way of being becomes so aligned with your deepest transpersonal truth that Raita unfolding through you that you become a clear channel, a conduit for that deeper non-dual reality.
like light shining through clear glass, no ego interference.
Exactly, not obscuring the universal flow of personal desires or judgments, allowing it to shine through you unhindered.
So it emphasizes expressing your Dharma, but without imposing it.
Absolutely. It's not about converting people or forcing your truth on them, not lecturing them on their Dharma.
It's about living yours authentically, transparently.
So authentically that it becomes a clear, resonant vibration. Inspiring by example, not by force. And the source reminds us, this authentic expression comes from transpersonal soul forces and a deeper wisdom guiding the whole cosmic show.
Not just my intellect deciding what's right.
No, it's more an intuitive flow from the depths of your being, an alignment with the universe's inherent dance.
So what this means for you, the listener, is to consider how acting from offering, not demanding, could reshape everything.
Your interactions, your understanding of your path, it's an invitation to become that clear window.
Allowing the universe's order to express itself through you. Trusting that expression, coming from Ananda and loving will.
Is the truest, most vital, most transformative form of Dharma.
Wow. We have really gone on quite a journey here, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Moving Dharma from maybe that initial idea of a rigid external duty
Yeah, the common view.
to this living, unfolding reality, something deeply intrinsic to our being, connected right into the fabric of the cosmos.
It's a huge expansion of the concept.
We started by defining it as the way things are, right?
Yeah.
That intrinsic universal law, way beyond just ethics.
And then traced it back to Raita.
Right, Raita, the primordial cosmic order. Understanding Dharma as its specific unfolding, particularly for us humans, like the OS running uniquely on our personal device, as you said.
Good analogy.
Then we got into its transpersonal nature, realizing that even though my life is my unique Dharma unfolding, it's somehow nothing personal.
Coming from the transpersonal soul, not just the ego.
Yeah, connected to everything. And we saw the danger of clinging to those rigid, dualistic ideas of Dharma, right versus wrong, from the ego's view, how that can strip it of life and cause conflict.
Turning it into that sword of the righteous ego.
Exactly. And finally, we arrived at this really revolutionary idea, Dharma as an offering, not a demand.
Flowing spontaneously from Ananda, from that bliss of the self.
With the power to transform conflict into connection through loving will, it's really a journey from outside imposition to inside emanation.
Beautifully summarized.
So if we connect all these threads, the bigger picture for the listener, it's about seeing your life differently, isn't it?
Absolutely. Not as just isolated choices in a vacuum.
But as active participation in this universal unfolding.
And understanding Dharma this way, in this deep, nuanced way, is kind of a shortcut maybe, to being genuinely well-informed about deeper truths, truths that go beyond just surface information.
Giving those real aha moments.
Yeah, helping you recognize that your challenges, your successes, even what you thought were failures, they're all part of this larger, coherent, inherently wise process, unique to your soul.
It's an invitation to align with that deep current of existence.
Instead of fighting it with limited ego ideas, allowing you to move through life with, hopefully, more grace, more purpose.
Okay, so the final thought for you listening.
Hmm?
What does this all mean for you? If your life truly is the unfolding of a perennial transpersonal Dharma, and if this Dharma isn't a demand to be met, but an offering from the Ananda of your very self, what would actually change?
Yeah, what would shift?
If you approached every action, every challenge, every decision, every single interaction, not primarily as a personal choice to do good or be right or get something done, but as an authentic expression of the universe moving through you, seeking transparency. Just think about that. What would it mean to simply allow your deepest truth to shine through, without expectation, without imposition, without the ego's rigid demands? What might unfold them?